Good morning, guys. How are we all doing? I am Dan from Trading with Dan. This is our Bitcoin morning update. So if you guys wouldn't mind smashing that like button, we shall go straight over to those Bitcoin 4-hour charts. Yes, Bitcoin on the 4-hour looking pretty good here. Looking like we have the potential to put in a bull flag here, take another leg up, and that next leg up would be a particularly important leg that would take us above, well, most likely take us above this resistance area and actually get us looking particularly bullish. If you look at this kind of wide, very wide range we've been trading in, it will take us back towards the top half and obviously through a lot of this this important price action area. So yeah, things are looking potentially pretty good here. Technically speaking, from the chart, this is a pretty aggressive move up. You wouldn't kind of expect this to come straight back down, but obviously that is not to say it can't come straight back down, but it does look like we have obviously a new source of buying in here. So obviously it is most likely to be people trying to hedge or get out of obviously the Russian ruble, in much the same way we got a lot of nice Bitcoin moves to the upside when people were trying to hedge or get out of the Turkish lira. But let's not forget, I think the Russian economy is a bit bigger than the Turkish one, so could be actually be a larger driver. So we shall see how this plays out, but yeah, looking good. Obviously this is also interestingly in the face of stock market weakness, not massive stock market weakness, but clearly it is testing this lower side of this price action. It hasn't spent much time below here, so if it does break below here, it would look particularly bad for and bearish for stocks. However, you would kind of hope we can get supported here and push through. But what I will say is obviously Bitcoin moving up in the face of this is showing that there is also a new driver, a new narrative in town that is driving price action up as well. That is not to say that this risk off is not still going to be people still selling Bitcoin in the risk off obviously moves. There is just another driver that obviously equals more people, more buying, even in the face of that selling. So I still would expect stocks to bounce from here, move up, break through here. We would still get a move up in Bitcoin. Bitcoin hasn't turned into a risk off asset. It is just got a new set of buyers driving it upwards that are actually at the present time able to counteract this selling coming off from the risk off. So yeah, obviously if we push up, Bitcoin will still push up, and then we'll just have a higher value relationship relative to the stock market. And yeah, hopefully we can then get a move obviously through here onwards and upwards into the mid to high $50,000, and then have a crack at new all-time highs in 80, 90, maybe even $100,000 Bitcoin later this year. We shall see. But though there is a lot of worry and concern in the world market, but just don't forget, I know Bitcoin has been trading as a risk off asset, a risk on asset for quite a while now. Ultimately that is not what it is designed for. It is not designed, it's fully designed as the opposite. So if at some point we do start trading as the opposite of what we have been, which is what Bitcoin should, I believe, trade at, is what it's designed to trade at as a hedge against the financial system, then yeah, we could see some spectacular moves. We have also obviously got gold making a move up here as well. Gold looking like it is establishing that higher value relationship, looking like it's gonna struggle to break down below 1840, 1880 anymore. I mean, let's face it, we have got energy prices that are gonna basically probably trend upwards even more aggressively than what they have been, and just be structurally stronger in the basis of what is happening. So that is obviously going to feed into inflation, which ironically is gonna then hit the economy, which then that higher inflation is then gonna not allow the Fed to do its rate raises. Which is yeah, it's just that's the irony of the situation. It's going to basically make Fed rate rises be more necessary, but that is going to be the reason why they don't come as aggressively. It is just the topsy-turvy finance 1.0 Ponzi system, basically. That's literally all it is. That is also been reflected in the 10-year, as you can see, coming down. We did kind of say this was probably going to be a top. We were going to probably head towards the 1.6 handles, which we actually ticked into. So I say we said this was looking toppy and unsustainable, and there were other financial market pundits that were calling it, and it did make sense to me as well. But yeah, it's coming down here, but obviously this is just a factor of literally of potential recession incoming, because there's a world of pain coming with these commodity prices. I mean, let me just tick you over to this, guys. This is I mean, I do talk about this being above 2% and being pretty dire, devastating and disgusting and dastardly for the US economy, for the world economy, but US in particular. This is the same. This is the same. It is insane. This is insane. The world can't take this. The consumer can't take this. Yeah, what can I say? What can I say? Yeah, I mean, this is just equals recession. The last basically price spike in oil when it got to like about $147 a barrel, which I remember shorting that also after. Literally started a recession, literally triggered a recession. It single-handedly triggered a recession. So I mean, we've said the world economy is so fragile, the world is so indebted, inflation is running so high. Anyway, this is just the last. This is like the nail in the coffin. This can trigger all sorts of in inverted commas black swan events. But yeah, this is also this is obviously also a strengthening of Russia's hand. This is a strengthening of obviously Russia's hand. So not really getting reflected in the ruble, as we can see, getting whacked. But as I kind of alluded to in yesterday's video, the de facto currency for Russia isn't the ruble really. It is energy. Energy is basically its currency. Energy is what it can trade with the rest of the world. This is just a fiat currency. That is obviously trading against the US dollar, which if we look at the US dollar, is also looking particularly strong against every other currency in this basket. Obviously, not even just the Russian ruble is looking good against. Obviously, the Russian ruble is getting hit harder. Obviously, getting hit pretty hard, but energy prices aren't getting hit pretty hard, and that is basically that is the be-all and end-all of Russia's economy. Let's face it. So. Yes, very particularly interesting times. Bitcoin dominance also approaching a macro resistance area here. So could we get a rejection from this level and come back down? We very likely could, but we'll have to see. We are, I mean, whilst we are getting moves into Bitcoin, we're not necessarily in a risk on market. So it is kind of okay to see that price action been predominantly in Bitcoin, because that is obviously the most liquid, biggest asset that if people are trying to hedge out of currency into, they go first to Bitcoin. That's just the path. First to Bitcoin, then to Ethereum, then to obviously mid caps, then to small caps, then to pretty pictures. And then meme coins and things like that. That is a path, although I don't expect Russian oligarchs are going to be jumping into Dogecoin anytime soon, but who knows? Let's look at so obviously the Ethereum BTC pairing is kind of struggling, but there is value obviously in this asset. Lots of Finance 1.0 people that have turned to crypto. Lots of them actually much prefer ETH, because ETH actually is a usable asset that does lots of other things, has lots of other use cases as opposed to BTC. But yeah, obviously this getting hit with the moves in Bitcoin, trying to test this resistance here. If it can get back above and break and go on a run, then yeah, we could see this go on a pretty substantial run. The USD pairing struggling with that relative psychological $3,000. I mean, relative. It is a psychological level, $3,000 level, but it is nonetheless not a particularly important level in the chart. I mean, it's not even realistically drawn on here. But yeah, we've got this area though that we have broken through that is important. We've obviously got these highs and this level, so I would say yeah, 3,400, break above there. then ETH is probably going to go on a pretty aggressive run. Yeah, all to play for, but we kind of would like this extra tailwind of a recovering stock market. But yeah, I mean, even stock markets are going to struggle in the face of this. Let's face it, this is literally a nightmare. This is the new 10-year above 2%. Like the world, the US cannot afford the 10-year above 2%. The US can't afford oil here either. Way to go, all you ECG clowns! Let's move to green energy. Do you know what I mean? Those woke idiots that have an oversized influence on the world and policy, when they are literally just dumbasses. But what can we say? What can we do? We are in crypto. We hope crypto benefits from all this BS. But it isn't good for the world as a whole. But at the end of the day, the world wasn't looking that particularly. The world financial system, all of us involved in crypto look at World Finance 1.0 and think, this SH1T is not sustainable. What can we hedge into? What can we put bets on? That's what we're doing. We're putting bets on cryptocurrency being a potential or viable alternative. And yeah, let's hope our bets pay off. Unfortunately, we may have to be right with the Finance 1.0, which will cause lots of suffering. But I mean, we are just products of an environment. We've got to make bets and decisions based on this scenario we're in. If the financial systems fall apart and there's a world of pain and we profit from it, it's not like anyone could have made the decision. Like, let's not feel bad about ourselves. We obviously saw what was going on. Other people decided to ignore it and act like divs basically. But just if the global pandemic has taught us one thing, there were a lot of mindless, headless chickens, sheeple divs out there, and just be it on their head what happens to them. I personally don't have no time for those people. Anyway, bit controversial, but who cares? Anyway, so yeah, there we go, guys. Remember, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. Always do your own research, and I shall speak to you guys soon.